Women who changed the world. For millennia, women have left their mark on the world, at times changing the course of history and at other times influencing small but significant spheres of life. Here are 12 personalities from arts, cinema, politics, and all who made a big impact in the course of history. Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene's story is intimately linked with Jesus. She plays a starring role in one of the most powerful and important scenes in the Gospels. When Jesus is crucified by the Romans, Mary Magdalene was there supporting him in his final terrifying moments and mourning his death. She also discovered the empty tomb, and she's a witness to the resurrection. Joan of Arc. National heroine of France, a peasant girl who, believing that she was acting under divine guidance, led French army in a momentous victory at Orleans that repulsed an English attempt to conquer France during the 100-Year War. Captured a year afterward, Joan was burned by the English and their French collaborators as a heretic. She became the greatest national heroine of her compatriots. Her achievement was a decisive factor in the awakening of French national consciousness. Jane Austen. One of the most popular female authors, Jane Austen wrote several novels which remain highly popular today. These include Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Northanger Abbey. Jane Austen wrote at a time when female writers were not so high profile, helping pave the way for future writers. Emily Dickinson. One of America's greatest poets, Emily Dickinson, lived most of her life in seclusion. Her poems were published posthumously and received widespread literary praise for their bold and unconventional style. Her poetic style left a significant legacy on 20th century poetry. Coco Chanel. One of the most innovative fashion designers, Coco Chanel was instrumental in defining feminine style and dress during the 20th century. Her ideas were revolutionary. In particular, she often took traditionally made clothes and redesigned them for the benefit of women. Coco Chanel brought out the little black dress, the Chanel suit and jacket, bell-bottoms, and Chanel No. 5 perfume. Mother Teresa. Devoting her life to the service of the poor and dispossessed, Mother Teresa became a global icon for selfless service to others. Through the Missionary of Charities organization, she personally cared for thousands of sick and dying people in Calcutta. She was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1979. Margaret Thatcher. The first female Prime Minister of Great Britain, she governed for over 10 years, putting emphasis on individual responsibility and belief in free markets. A Soviet journalist called her the Iron Lady, a nickname that become associated with her uncompromising politics and leadership style. As Prime Minister, she implemented politics that have come to be known as Thatcherism. Marilyn Monroe. American actress who became one of the most iconic film legends. Her films were moderately successful, but her lasting fame came through her photogenic good looks and aura of glamour and sophistication. In a career that spanned 16 years with no acting experience and through the promotion of her sex symbol image, Marilyn became a Hollywood media star and a legend while making 29 movies. Anne Frank. Anne Frank's diary is one of the most widely read books in the world. It reveals the thoughts of a young, yet surprisingly mature 13-year-old girl confined to a secret hiding place. She was one of the most discussed Jewish victims of the Holocaust. Her wartime diary, The Diary of a Young Girl, has been the basis for several plays and films. Audrey Hepburn. Influential female actor of the 50s and 60s, Audrey Hepburn defined feminine glamour and dignity and was later voted as most beautiful women of the 20th century. After her acting career ended in the mid-60s, she devoted the remaining period of her life to humanitarian work with UNICEF. Madonna. The most successful female musician of all time, she has sold in excess of 250 million records. Often referred to as a queen of pop, she is cited as an influence among other artists around the world. Jane Rowling. British author of the phenomenal best-selling Harry Potter series. The volume of sales was so high it has been credited with leading a revival of reading by children. She wrote the first book as a single mother struggling to make ends meet, but is now one of the most successful self-made women.